Hey there guys, how's it going? So I'm going to go ahead and do something a little bit different today. We're going to go through the entire Marluxia challenge together. So obviously if it's getting a little bit boring for you guys, going through all 13 stages, jump ahead to the more difficult rounds. But from what I understand, this challenge has got a pretty crazy gimmick, which I friggin' called, by the way. As like I had a feeling Divine Rose was going to be the locked-in gimmick. Anyway, who cares about that? I'm bringing in a pretty AoE intensive setup, and I'm looking for Brand and Sephiroth, and there it is. Given from what the screenshot I've seen of the 13th stage, has got Marluxia with a very small counter on his head, flanked by a bunch of red roses, with equally small counters, well actually less counters than he does on his head as well. So, wow, he already has 5,500 bars to start off with. Bloody hell. That's alright, hopefully we'll get through this. So, hopefully nothing too crazy here. I'm bringing in medals that either raise the counter or ignore the counter, like the prime medals right there, ignore. Copying onto a medal like this actually raises the counter slightly, and then even though I've got this, copy medal sitting right here in the back that isn't a reverse speed, hoping it's going to do a little bit of work for me. At least just ignore the counter, so there we go. Just due to the fact it's such a strong medal that it's copying onto. Hopefully we're going to be okay. So, let's see if we can do this thing, hey? 13 stages. I'm probably not going to pull for Marluxia just because I'm sick of the banner. We can talk about that banner a little bit later on, but let's give it a go. And here is number, wow, 500 joules already. I love it. I love it to bits. I love this like 5k joule injection every month. It's so good. Okay, number 2, heading in now. Screen tearing as it always does on this phone, unfortunately. A little bit more health than before. Nothing too crazy at this stage. Still got a 20 over his head. I do wonder if the... I was going to say the 10 is in reference to his number, but it's not. He's number 11, not 10. I don't know what I was thinking there. Obviously my setup is not ideal by any stretch of the imagination. I'm just sort of thinking like AoE that raises counters is the priority right now, and obviously we'll configure that the closer we get down to the end itself, basically. Obviously I'm bringing in Sephiroth just because it's such a good medal, like in my circumstances, being that it's obviously enormously strong, raises counters, and in my case restores gauges. Like I'm definitely keen to have that. Obviously not everyone has that. I definitely sympathize. So once I've just cleared it out normally once, we'll go back through again potentially and try and do it without if we can. From what I've seen though, it's a semi-difficult challenge. Oh, boosters, of course, I shouldn't have mentioned that. The Divine Rose boosters are in the Union Cross right now. Definitely take the time. 20 minutes, not even. If you're just focused on getting the Divine Rose boosters, which I, again, strongly recommend, a few minutes, even if you're like a very new character that doesn't have strong medals yet, just go ahead, try and, just focus on healing. Just walk in and try and heal stronger players. If you're lucky enough, you'll get in there with a group of strong players that are just going to blitz through the entire thing. Like, honestly, especially now given how important Union Cross is for this month, or sorry, for this event rather, just jump in and sit there and just provide heals. You'll be completely fine. You'll get through easy peasy. Well, people will carry you through, basically. And collect your coins, get your boosters, and then you're all done. Okay, so we're already doing 1 damage, so it seems like... Right. So unfortunately, Illustrated Kari obviously doesn't give off that many buffs. So I was like, well, if I bring her, maybe that counteracts the fact that I have Sephiroth. But before too long, I'm probably going to need to have maybe Era out the front. Kari's kind of there in my case just for the second chance. I guess we'll see. Again, at this early stage, I'm sure I'm still going to be fine because of the general defense lowering that happens with, every other medal in the setup. Wonderful. Okay, number 4 going in again still. I'm trying to think right now if you didn't have, like, let's say Prime, Roxas, and Xion right there. If you had either, like, Prime, Riku, and Roxas instead, that would be great. I mean, hopefully you guys pulled for at least one of those tier 5 Primes. Even Prime Illustrated Roxas honestly wouldn't be so bad because even though you're not getting the full upright magic debuff, it's still, like, it is exactly the same medal, just for a different attribute. So, I mean, I'm hoping that you'd still get away with it, fingers crossed, because the reverse magic multipliers aren't too bad on Divine Rose. Anyway, hopefully, yeah, we take them all out in one hit. And again, the beauty of these primes is that, Sephiroth's not really a prime, but he sort of is in the fact that he's like literally copied and pasted from the previous archetype and then just had 8 slapped on where the 5 used to be. What I'm trying to get at is they deal much more damage when there's only 1 enemy left, which is, in this case, brilliant. Very happy to have that. Just trying to think, are we going to need second chance? I guess we'll see. Okay, number 5, a bit more of an escalation. Obviously the new Marluxia medals in the shop, they're to be purchased to help with this event, but it's like, I don't necessarily know how much it's going to help. Like obviously it's a very, very, very powerful single hit medal, but you definitely would have wanted to have cleared out all the other like Red Roses first before you use it, so you can focus all that damage onto Marluxia. It's really good in the fact that it only deals one hit, so it might be a lot more useful to you in that slot than like the Zac, for example, that came out recently in the High Score Challenge a couple months ago. Obviously that's a very, 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 very strong medal that fits very well in that slot, except it's got such a high hit counter that it really might be to your detriment to use it in this event, given that, you know, as we get further and further into it, Marluxia is going to have less and less hits on their counter, basically. Okay, same again, we're still kicking their butts pretty quickly. Extra attack, lovely. And now for the friend medal. And the pets decided to play along as well. Beautiful. Okay, so this is the first time I think no, we'll clear it out in one turn, I think. I mean, I could use slipping over, but okay. We still cleared it out in one turn. Okay. Okay, so that was round 5, and we were able to take it out in one turn still. Okay, so we still only got 4 guards flanking him. Ton of defense still. I am wondering, again, still thinking, do I switch at that Kari, or is it more useful to have? Because they're only going to be doing 1 damage. Do a little bit more than that. Is it going to be more useful to switch out to Era, like my Foretail obviously, to get that overwrite debuff, or even just, you know, a Kari EX Plus, and have all those other buffs applied. Those buffs and debuffs applied first. Again, I'm just a lazy bastard who doesn't want to like, put a second chance on a Kari or the Xion that I've got, just because I'm using the skills that they have, the DB4 Max and the Triple Threat in PvP, so I would still love another copy, like either Kari or Xion, either one of those if they're ever going to drop for me, and I'll just chuck a second chance 4 on it and away I go. It's going to be perfect. Okay. Ooh, these beautiful animations. Oh man, that's so cool. Just like at a KH2 FM, that's his like desperation move. So he didn't regain his buffs. Okay, cool. Which means that as long as we debuff him in the first turn, we're still good to go in the second. Cool. 6 down. Obviously I'm using Sephiroth, but if I had like, because I didn't do that many pulls, I only did 4 pulls on that banner. If I had gotten if I'd gotten a usable cloud out of that banner, I'd probably be using that instead, but the cloud I got was really not useful at all. I do honestly recommend though, if you did get a cloud with like ground and extra attack from all your pulls, or even not even that good necessarily, I'd probably give that a go, because the copycat medal that I've got right now, literally any of those tier 5 primes that I have in that final slot, the copycat medal is going to do exactly the same amount of damage. Copycat medal is just going to look at the number at the back and copy that. That's its literal function. So in that sense, it doesn't actually matter if I copy Sephiroth, Cloud, Illustrated Roxas, or Riku vs Roxas, or Roxas and Xion. The copycat medal is going to be doing exactly the same damage. Sephiroth's obviously going to be doing more because it's that multiplier times by a tier 8 in you know, the 230% instead of 150. But it's still a significant amount of damage. Like the Cloud still does a lot of what Sephiroth does, just not quite as much at the back end, and obviously Supernova as well. But yeah, definitely don't write yourself off just because I'm using Sephiroth. Like again, I just want to clear it out first, and then I'll make some more videos where I try it out with different setups. I'm just sort of thinking, in the sake of just completing it quickly, this is what I was going to go in with. And even in that sense, I'm really, I don't know, I'm just being lazy because I probably should have switched out Kari for Era quite a while ago. But I'm just thinking I will probably need second chance later on. We'll see. I don't know. We'll see. But actually, no, I lie. The only difference the copycat medal is going to make is it's going to hit with the additional 100% boost, which Cloud only gets 80, I believe, at 7 stars. So there is, okay, I lied. There is a slight difference there, but it's pretty negligible in the long run. Especially if you're already using a booster like, you know, Era at the front, or any of the stained glass medals, or anything like that, which is already going to give you their, you know, 100, 110, or Kari at the front with their 80. It's all pretty negligible difference, anyway, from the copycat's point of view. Alrighty, where we go. So, wow, he's already got nearly 27,000 bars of health. Let's see, okay, we're doing a good chunk more damage now, as to be expected. Hopefully this is as well. Yep. Significantly more damage now. Alright, cool. Yeah, so Divine Rose is not the death sentence a lot of people were afraid it's going to be. Definitely not. Obviously, people don't have the best configurations for it. You know, reverse speed is pretty hard to come by, especially for a free-to-play player. Obviously, a lot of people are still rocking, you know, Illustrated Invisible still, which is an incredible medal. Phantom is going to be a big help to anyone doing this challenge, definitely. It's just a shame that the global version never seems to reintroduce copycat medals into the game. They're just gone forever for whatever reason. It's a pain in the ass, but oh well. Again, I'm just going to hold off using the Supernova just until I really, really need it, just so I don't, you know, go too far beyond the point of no return for a lot of players, hopefully. Doing big damage. So I imagine it's going to be like previous organization members where one hit is tankable and one is not. I've got to imagine it's been the pattern the entire time so far, so I keep forgetting, is it the first one that's livable or the second one that's livable? I can't remember. It's been a while since I've actually tanked him. Oh boy. But in any case, I've got one of the best defensive medals in the game right now. At least putting defensive buffs on myself. And we still didn't live that hit at all with, you know, even with DB4 max, so I gotta imagine it isn't the first, but yeah, we'll see. Alrighty, another one bites the dust. Okay, number 9, so not going to change anything until I really have to. Let's keep going. Again, I'm really prioritizing the counters at this point, because I'm just concerned that's going to be the big factor here. Obviously, if you're going to deal more damage than I do, like obviously Violet is just there for the counter, but like I mentioned before, Reiki Vestroxis ignores counters, so that's definitely something I recommend. It's, I mean, again, it is an identical clone of this medal here, just with upright magic instead of reverse speed, or if because Era's tried to change it, reverse power. Couldn't think of the word right there. So they're taking the licks pretty well still. Combo 1 always goes off on the worst medals every single time, if at all. It just wasn't going off for me in PvP at all before. Couldn't figure out why. Okie dokie, and yep, same again. All the guys are dead before the final medal, basically, which is pretty cool. So hopefully we're not going to need second chance at all. Fingers crossed, because that way I can just keep running in with Era. That'd be what I prefer to do, to be perfectly honest, just because, well, yeah, obviously my first bunch of medals are going to be doing way more damage with an appropriate buffer. Way more damage. It's good at least now all these medals are focused on the one single target. So again, this medal right here will get a significant attack boost. Bang, 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 bang. Roll that extra attack on it. At least we don't seem to need grounds just yet, because that medal doesn't have grounds on it. In fact, none of these medals have grounds on it. And at least they're all doing decent damage still, which is pretty cool. Obviously ground helps though. Ground always helps. I believe this medal next, Antiform Sora, has ground on it. Chop. Yeah, but it did nice damage, to be sure. That did nice damage. Yeah, that did very nice damage. Alrighty. That was number 9. Okay, number 10. So yeah, obviously this entire quest is like bait to go get you to purchase KHUx 19 in the shop. But I'm trying to show you don't necessarily have to go out and do that. Now again, that's very, very easy for me to say, given that I already have Sephiroth, which is more or less that same medal. So again, I definitely do appreciate that. Again, I want to try and take on Quest 13, just get it finished, and then we'll go back and try and do some, I suppose, less lucky setups. Let's leave it like that. But yeah, I mean, you don't have to run out and buy KHUx 19 just because the game wants you to, by any stretch of the imagination. And even Marluxia Plus itself, like, if the banner was like it was in the JP version, where it was 15,000 jewels, essentially, to guarantee you get it, every single time you did a pull, you would get 3 speed gems and a trait medal from Marluxia Plus. That would be amazing. That would be really significantly more tempting. And people say, well, yeah, we have a falling price deal in Global. To me, I'd much rather pay 15,000 jewels and get, you know, much better medals in the deal with the brand new skills attached to them. So 2 tier 6s or tier 7s of, like, actual good quality with really good skills attached to them, or at least the current batch of skills you could expect to find attached to these medals. Motorbike going by, of course. A trait medal per pull and 3 speed gems for 15k instead of the garbage that we have right now, where it's awful medals that no one uses anymore. Like, there's not even Like, at least put Herc B in there or something. For the Lexaeus banner, we had Herc B, and it's like, that was something at least. A usable, decent medal to use your tier 7 fairies on. Everything else in that banner is, unfortunately, bad. Like, it's not... Whoops, I'm gonna have to use Sippin over here. It's just not good. Shop. I'm gonna have to use Sippin over here, or else I might die. Well, I might die anyway. 5,000 bars left to go. Yep, I'm gonna have to use it, and I missed it. Crap. Well, I'm gonna die now. Heck. Unless I live this one, because I did use Violet twice. Okay, so I wasn't fully healed, but he only did 2 hits. He did sort of like a bum rush sort of thing. Interesting, so you can definitely tank that second hit. Okay, cool. Cool. Gives me some ideas about what to do. Alright, I'm going to try it again with a marginally different setup. I've just brought a different copycat medal. Instead of Namine copying forward onto Violet, I've got Kia Beginnings copying backwards onto Violet instead. Because I've got 8 base 7 on that copycat medal. And it's in a much stronger slot, so hopefully that damage will be significantly more coming out of... Well, with those 2 slots combined, basically. I don't know, we'll see. See what happens. Again, I'm gonna have to use second chance at some point. I'm just being really stubborn and not trying to bring it with me, but okay, hopefully getting a bit more damage out of this slot right here. Ugh, a little bit, not heaps, but a little bit more. Oh boy, I gotta deal 13,000 bars and 2 medals. Oh, there's a big chunk of them right there. Okay, 5k left. A combo 1, that should hopefully seal the deal. Yep. Brilliant. Okay, number 10 down. 3 more to go. Again, I'm gonna have to bring second chance back. Just gonna have to accept that. Okay, number 11, Marluxia's number. So I've just gone ahead and got rid of one of my copycat medals. Basically, kept Violet in there just in case we need to start tanking. Ooh, it's only 1 damage now. Interesting. This shouldn't be though. Yeah. So dropped out. Yeah, you can see Kari's next. Literally just there for second chance. I mean, the heal is nice as well, I suppose, for subsequent turns, because that'll make us far more likely to survive, but yeah, we should be okay. Hopefully we'll be okay now. I'm just concerned about other players going in there with counters, basically. That's my main concern right now. Okay, so the friend Sephiroth is going to go ahead and do his big chop right there. Okay, now 30,000 bars to clear out in effectively 2 more turns. Okay, so that hit does about 1,000 bars as a friend medal. As a friend medal extra attack. Wow, that's crazy. So that we definitely cannot tank that one, no friggin' way. But can we tank the other one? That's gonna be the question. Only 1 damage. That's kind of surprising. I mean, it shouldn't be because we're we're not getting any sort of slot multiplier whatsoever. But still. And bonk. Back up to full HP pretty much. At least we will be by the time we reach the end of the turn. Guess we might need every little bit we can get to try and live these hits. Okay. So he's going to do the little bum rush against us again. Ira's made it so his speed-based strength is down to -7. Our general defense and our speed-based defense are up. I think they're max. Let's see how much damage he does. Again, he did like 2 hits before that did a couple thousand each. So if that stayed relatively constant, we're at full HP now, so we should potentially be able to survive that. Or alternatively, okay, cool, we did. I was going to say, alternatively, we might have to get rid of his general attack a bit more, which is going to require either Demix or either Zexion Plus or Mrs. Incredible. But seem to be okay as it is, just getting rid of his speed-based strength and raising our own relevant defenses, so that's pretty cool. Obviously, he's definitely going to kill us on this next hit, though, definitely. If we actually get to that, because we might not. Okay, cool. So it's a little bit of a hybrid, like, high damage / defensive at the same time setup right here, but definitely seems to have worked. Okay, so we've definitely proved you can tank this guy. The second, and I would guess, 4th, 6th, so ever hits. Well, you wouldn't get that far anyway, because the 1st, 3rd, 5th, etc. would kill you. But yeah, it seems like you can tank those hits, so pretty cool. Okay, only 2 left now. He's got a few more enemies along there with him with very, very small counters on their heads, but hopefully nothing else has really changed. He's got 48 and a bit thousand bars of HP. Aside from that, he seems to be more or less the same guy, so we weren't in any particular danger last round just because of how defensive we were, because obviously we have 2 revives in total for a total of 3 lives, if you will. Obviously our initial life, the second chance revive, and then the pet revive. If we don't have to burn one of those revives every single turn, obviously that makes our survivability much, much higher and gives us, you know, way more turns to actually try and kill the guy. So I'm really hoping, as long as you guys have enough setups that can avoid triggering the counter, I'm hoping everyone's going to be okay, but that is a pretty heavy reliance on prime metals. I'm just thinking about new players right now that they might be in a bit of trouble. Like, unless they got pretty lucky on the Key Out 19 banner, I'm a little bit concerned about that, for sure, for sure. And again, I'm still curious if we're actually going to survive this turn or not, or if we have to go and do some different debuffs next turn. My apologies, I got a really, bad throat right now. Back up to full HP, okay. So same defenses as before. Your -3 speed-based offense from Era, which I believe is the current minimum you can be. Of course it did. Guy messages me once a month, and of course it's when I'm recording a video. Okay, 20k to go, effectively 2 turns to do it in. Wow, okay, so we definitely did not survive that hit then. Shut up, mute. Thank you. Okay, so we might actually die this time then and have to come in with a different offensive or buffing strategy. That's crazy how much stronger he got in just 1 turn. That's really crazy. Okay, so we'll have to go ahead and lower his general attack then. That's a definite. So Violet might be out and Zexion might be in then. Okay. Okay, we can do that. Coming pretty close. So we did a fair chunk of damage in that turn, but... Okay, how much do we need? I can't even remember if second chance is triggered yet or not. Okay, round over. Okay, no worries. So let's go back in again with a different defensive metal. Okay, let's try that again. So, I'm bringing Era still. Nearly left him behind, but I'm bringing Era still. Just remember that I put a second chance on a Zexion when I was streaming the High School Challenge the other day. So we're going to go ahead and bring that instead. Because we're bringing him, he pretty much fulfills our defensive quota, because in my case I got lucky enough to have extra attack on mine, meaning that even though his buffs take effectively 4 casts to land effectively, I'm lucky in that mine triggers the counter. Right. Okay, so I just tried Zexion and then forgot that he he doesn't ignore counters, so I immediately tried to cast Zexion and then was quickly reminded that no, that's not going to work. So bringing the entire defensive family in with me right now, seeing if that makes a difference instead. So Mrs. Incredible, due to the fact that she just ran right past the portal, lowers general attack is pretty freaking huge, and that might let us pass this challenge. Let's see. I don't know, let's see. We lost a lot of damage by doing this, so let's see if that makes a difference or not. Unless she damages the flowers, I guess that's the main thing. Should do nothing. Does a surprising amount to the flowers. Interesting. That is a respectable amount of damage to both. Okay, so we're pretty defensively stacked right now. So we've got him at -7 general attack, us as possibly buffed up as we can be, and him as possibly offensively debuffed as he can be. If there is a way to live that attack, I think we are currently doing it, surely. Yeah, I think there's no way I can get any defensively stronger than I am right now anyway, so, yeah, we'll see. Hopefully this final hit takes out the rest of the flowers. Sharp, yep. Okay, so now, hopefully more than 2 turns to take out, because it'll be this turn right here, die once. We'll get one more turn now, hopefully live. Another turn. He'll attack, we'll die, but I think we have 3 more turns to take him out right now, I think. 1 damage again. Okay. Alright, here's the test. Here's the test. Do we go ahead and live this next attack? Combo 1 always procs at the worst times. We know this to be true. Oh yeah, and obviously Roxas got bumped out to the head job because as much as I would have liked to have kept Anti-Form Sora, copying Sephiroth right here, unfortunately we had to make some sacrifices, so I think we're on track though. I think we're on track to take him out. Yeah, we should be fine. This is the best part of the month for me. This is definitely the best part of the month, like figuring out, you know, how to actually beat these different quests. I like it a lot. Figure out which of the setups you have in your arsenal to be able to take on. Much difference. Much different. That's the general attack. General attack is huge. So yeah, unfortunately, there doesn't seem to be a way of running Zexion unless you like go crazy and you get extra attack on, like, if you have a Fortail at the front that's going to raise your counter by 2 and you extra attack that, so you raise the counter by 4, and every other medal you have before that raises the counter a ton. Zexion's going to do 8 hits, so if you can budget for that and the amount of like blue counters left on those, especially the flowers is the main thing, just because they have only a 2-hit counter on their head initially. If you can budget for that, you'll probably be fine, but that's a significant amount to budget for. Anyway, well, we did a pretty good chunk of damage over those last 2 turns, so we're definitely going to die here. The only difference is, yep, now we get second chance to bring us back. So effectively we have 2 more turns from this point, which makes me not really fear round 13 that much. As long as you can tank that, you'll have, what is it, 5 turns to kill him in total? Which hopefully should be plenty. Hopefully. I don't know. Yeah, definitely not the prettiest setup in the world, but it seems to be it seems to be enough to get us through. There he goes, round 12, okie dokie. Woof, good chunk of Lux as well. Now, I don't get why we get Lux from a hologram. That doesn't really make sense to me. Did the hologram trap the light from the world within itself? I don't think so. Okay, number 13, this one is for all the marbles, or all the Marluxia balls? I don't know. Sounds weird. Anyway, 53,500 bars of HP. But aside from that, nothing too different. So, same as before, avoiding counters is priority number 1, and buffing up is priority number 2. So as long as we can get out all our defensive buffs and get back to full HP, we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 turns to take him down. So as long as you're dealing at least 10,500 bars of damage per turn, you should be okay. And I would definitely recommend borrowing a Sephiroth. That seems to be, obviously not everyone's going to have their own, totally understand that, but if you got lucky enough to have Kia at 19, you're laughing, that's excellent. If you got lucky enough to have a Sephiroth, again, you're also very, very happy. Borrowing one, or either of those, is going to be great for you. Even borrowing Nominate, I suppose, like if you borrow the brand new, or you have the brand new Nominate EX, you could have, you know, Nominate into Marluxia, the new Marluxia in the 5th slot right there. Hang on, I wasn't paying attention. And that Marluxia in the 5th slot will be doing damage to every single enemy simultaneously. That'd be kind of cool. Like with that one big random hit. It doesn't ignore counters, but it only subtracts 1 from the blue counter, so wouldn't be the end of the world to have the enemies being hit by that. Okay, so this is going to be the test. Do we actually live on turn 5? And I have to assume the answer is yes. Surely. Please. Okay, so hopefully my Sephiroth's going to come in and clear out all the plants. Yep. Get that hedge trimmer, just go and just clear out all the clear out all the plants right there. Okay, and now it begins basically just the proceeding to whack away at this tremendous chunk of HP. So we're at 60% down, I think, right now, 2 turns in, and we're only 40% of the turns through. So I think with that economy, we're going to do pretty good. Do we? Oh wow. Yeah, we did easily. I didn't expect that. I guess I wasn't paying attention the first time around, but without being too cheeky, we might have not even needed to heal there. I don't know. Second chance is definitely necessary, at least in my case, because that just buys you, it just buys you 2 more turns, which I don't see how. I mean, I'm sure there are I know there are setups out there full of key out 19s who are going to be able to take this thing out in a very, very small amount of turns. I have no doubt about that, but yeah, in my case, having second chance, even though I don't do much damage in that 1 slot, it basically buys me 2 more turns, and it's invaluable. It's 100% invaluable. There's no way you could get around that. Alright, so we're going to die here and then get brought back to life by the second chance I keep talking about. And then only 18,000 bucks left to chop away at in 2 turns. So, should be fine. Should be totally fine. Cool. Well, that took about an hour. So, start looking forward to Luxine, I guess. No, let's try and get you guys through. So, obviously, KHUx 19, a huge one. I'm just trying to think, like, if you had the new Nominate EX Plus, and you copied onto, like, any of those VIP medals that raise the counter by 10, that could be kind of cool. It could be kind of... Do you get 2 attacks out of it, though? I actually don't know how that works. Is it that your next attack is going to be AoE or the next medal? Because if it's like, if you had extra attack on a VIP medal and you could, like, add 20 to the counter, that'd be kind of cool, but I don't think that's the case. Well, add 20 to the counter for all the enemies. And then you could do 2 casts of Zexion and get a lot of defensive buffs going without having to sacrifice too many medals, but I just don't think that's how it works. And even then, it will cost you like 3 medal slots as is, so... Okay, here we go. This should be it. That's right, I'm going to take a break, and then I'll have a play around, and we'll come back and do some more setups in a bit. So, well, I've got to edit this first, get this rendered, and then get it uploaded. And then, yeah, then we'll do some of that. I mean, obviously, as good as Sephiroth is, I haven't used any Supernovas in the 13th challenge, so... Obviously, it's an extremely good medal, no one is ever going to be doubting that, but it's definitely not essential. Like, I'm bringing it in, and it's doing huge damage, obviously. But like I said, if you did pull for it and got Cloud instead, and got a decent Cloud, you'd probably be in a similarly good situation. Like, if your Cloud got extra attack, and obviously Ground would help, but even without it, like... You're not that far behind damage-wise. Alright, there we go. So, Mr. Free-to-Play has snagged himself another belt, basically. Another organization's belt. Alrighty. Pretty happy with that effort. So, Graceful Assassin. Sorry, this might be the time where I talk about the banner, but it's just such a shame, you know what I mean? Like, hey, nearly 50,000 jewels again. I like it. I kind of want to pull, but... I don't know. See, my thought process is, I'm looking at obviously 7-star Marluxia right there. Those 2 are the new VIP medals, I assume, and then that leaves us with 3 more medals in. I've been saying for a while that could be Stained Glass number 10, 11, and 12. I don't know what else comes in 3s like that. It could be a Kingdom Hearts 3 Kairi, Riku, Sora, or any of the trios from that game. Hey, Hayden Pencilette even. Could be, now that we're seeing them in the trailers, so I wouldn't be rushing out and doing anything rash with the jewels straight away, because if that is a trio of good medals, it could definitely be worth pulling for instead. So, do what you can in this challenge. I'm going to try to come up with some more guides that don't necessarily need the medals that I've used, but obviously it's difficult without... Like, Riku vs Roxas, I think would be a really, really huge medal for this challenge, and KHUx 19, no, I don't have it, it's only, don't worry, it's only the trait medal that's taking up that spot, don't worry, I don't have KHUx 19. Yeah, alright guys, best of luck, I really hope you do well, and yeah, obviously the Discord is, as always, open for you guys to come over and have a chat about your setups and give advice and all that good stuff. So, yeah, I'll see you guys soon. All the best, and yeah, bye.